Hey everybody, it is Micah, and I'm here with you again today for the recap of the Final Fantasy XIV live letter from the producer number 67. Now, if you've never been with me for one of these before, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the information from the live letter and I'm going to condense it down into a more palatable bite for you so you don't have to sift through all the extra stuff they have in the live letter to find the core information. But the live letter was 6 hours long, so this video is still going to be pretty lengthy in and of itself. So what I did is I put timestamps below, so if you don't care about something or you want to know something in particular, you can just check out those timestamps and jump to anything you want. And I must say, the whole reason I'm able to do this is because they finally have an English translator with live letters, and I hope they keep it that way because having an English translator makes it so much easier. It's so nice to be able to follow a live letter in real time. And also the person who does it, she's just really good at it. So I hope she becomes a more permanent fixture because it's really nice to have her around. Anyway, so before I begin, I kind of want to jump into a couple little personal announcements. So if you don't really care about that stuff, just go ahead, go to the timestamps below and skip to the first section. But what I want to announce personally is that if you've been following me for a while, you know that I reopened my free company like a couple months ago. I was like, I'm going to reopen my free company. And I did. But then I had some real life stuff happen and I couldn't log in. Didn't even make videos in that time. So there's like this big time gap in my videos. So everybody that had joined left because there was only a few people there. And I don't blame them. I mean, I wasn't around. We weren't doing anything. So, yeah, they left. I totally get that. But I'm around now. I'm making videos again. And I'm in game almost every day. So yeah, if you are interested, my free company is on the Sargatanas server on the Aether data center. It's called the Twin Ravens. I will have something up on the Lodestone under the free company recruitment page, and you can also contact me either here or on Twitter or in game, whatever you want. If you have any questions about my free company, what we want to do, all that fun stuff, go ahead and ask, and we can get everything sorted out and hopefully make this free company something really great. The other thing I want to talk about is I've had quite a few of you, surprisingly, ask me if I'm going to stream. I haven't streamed in years, and I did enjoy it, but I just haven't done it yet. But I just recently upgraded my PC. I got a pretty nice computer behind me now, 3080 Ti and stuff I was able to find. So yeah, I am gonna start streaming again. So, or start streaming, period. So look forward to that. I will put something up on Twitter when I start doing that. I want to start streaming before Endwalker and then continue on in Endwalker. So look for me on Twitch. I also want to say that, we had those podcasts going on Sundays on my Twitch channel, but I had real life stuff happen. Then Dio had real life stuff happen. So we just haven't been able to do it yet. However, we do want to get back into it. So we should be starting up again here fairly soon. And I honestly would kind of like to bring one, maybe two other people into the conversation. I mean, just gives us a broader outlook on everything. So if you're possibly interested in that, go ahead and shoot me off a message and we'll talk. I don't have any real requirements. Just know that we do talk about spoilery stuff. So if you are a brand new player, there's going to be that. So, yep, we'll just kind of take it from there and we'll run with it. So that's all my personal announcements. I'll make another, video on the podcast thing later on with more information. But yeah, that's my personal announcements. Let's go ahead and jump right on in to the live letter. So when the live letter began, I was actually incredibly concerned because Yoshida looked like he was about to lose it. He looked like he was on the verge of tears, and I was like, so did something happen at Square Enix? Did something happen to one of his family members? Did something happen to Soken? Because Soken, was so sick, and they're just bros. So I was just like, what happened. But what turns out is that the reason Yoshida was so upset was because he felt like he disappointed us, because they have to push back the release date of Endwalker, but it's only by 2 weeks. So now, instead of coming out on November 23rd, I believe is the original date, it's now going to be December 7th. So in my opinion, this is not a big deal. It's only 2 weeks. They wanted to take those 2 weeks for a little bit of quality control. And, Yoshida was saying he knows it's last minute, but they just made the decision on Friday. And, he knows people have taken off work. He knows that, people had plans and they were, the excitement stuff. And the dude started crying on stream. So, he feels really bad, and he puts so much into this game. So go ahead, go on Twitter, go on the forums, whatever, and just be like, you want to know what, man? We got your back. We're here for you, whatever. It's only 2 weeks. To me, that's not a big deal. I know if you took work off, it may be a big deal to you, but to me, it's just not a big deal. So a finished project, a good project, is always better than something that's half complete. So let Yoshida know that he's good, and that we're still behind him, and that we still trust him, and that we have not lost faith in him. So after that, though, he did give us a basic calendar of what's going to happen directly after Endwalker's release. So December 3rd is going to be early access for Endwalker. So all of us who've pre-ordered, who have that early access, can get into Endwalker December 3rd. Then December 7th is the official release of Endwalker. December 21st is going to be patch 6.01, which is going to bring with it the normal mode of the Pandemonium raids. And then after that, on December 21st, we're going to have patch 6.05, which is going to bring with it the Savage mode of Pandemonium, as well as the new Tomestones and a bunch of new gear and stuff like that. So that's the tentative schedule. That's the tentative schedule right now. After that, he just kind of went into some of the stuff he previously spoke about, like characters and maps and whatnot. But I'm not going to get into that because that's really a lot of information to cover that I've already covered. So if you want to see anything like that, just go ahead and check out my videos for FanFest or for the previous live letter. All that information should be there for you. Next, he talked about the main scenario, and of course he couldn't give us really any information because it's the main scenario. He tells us anything, it's gonna be a spoiler. So he didn't really go into anything. But he did say the main scenario quest is huge. This is gonna be the biggest expansion we have had yet, and there's a lot of meat in it because they wanted to make sure that they they dotted every I and crossed every T. So, any questions that we had are going to be answered. And since he did that, it's going to be big. So they had to take a few minor things out, a few minor little bits of information out. So what he said was that they put a lot more emphasis on the NPCs in the world. So now when you're running around, Rotted Hans, or you're running around Old Charlayan, he said to make sure you talk to the NPCs because the NPCs are going to have a lot more information. And now, if you've been playing this game for a while, you're also going to know that the dialogue on the NPCs is going to change depending on what point of the quest you're in. So if you're a huge lore person like I am, make sure you go around and you talk to some NPCs because they're going to have a lot of really good information for you. He also said that the NPCs are going to change when it comes to questing. So now, if you are, say we're in Old Charlayan and, we're at point A and, Elfino and Elise are there and they say, hey, go to point B. As we make our way to point B, instead of just disappearing after we accept the quest and reappearing at point B, they're going to follow us. So they're going to walk right behind us all the way up to wherever we need to go. And while we're doing that run, not only can we take screenshots and use G-pose with them, but they're also going to have little conversations. So we're going to just, be able to get a little bit more personality, learn a little bit more about them. This is something that's really great for character development. I'm really excited about it. And this is a really interesting thing for them to put in. So I really like this concept. I hope we see more of it in the future. So, yep, NPCs are going to be changing in those ways. So, as always, please look forward to it. The next thing he went into was the new role quests. Now, just like in Shadowbringers, in Endwalker, we are going to have role quests instead of job-specific quests. But the role quests are going to change a little bit from where they were in Shadowbringers. So first thing is there's still going to be 5. There's still going to be a tank, a healer, melee, physical ranged, and magical ranged role quests. But they're disconnecting them from the main scenario quests. So you do not have to complete the role quest to complete the main scenario quest like you had to in Shadowbringers. He did say, though, that they correspond really, really well with the main scenario quest, and they did that on purpose. So you can actually play those out while you're playing out the main scenario quest, and that's what he encourages to do. And if you did play the role quests in Shadowbringers, then you do know that after you complete all of them, you get a little bonus quest line at the end. And that bonus quest line in Shadowbringers was pretty dang amazing. It answered a lot of questions, especially when it came around the 13th shard. So I highly suggest, if you're a lore person, to get at least one job from each role leveled up, get those quests done, and then do that final quest at the end. It is a really good little thing to do. So yeah, just go ahead and do that. He also said that there are not going to be any level 90 job-specific quests because the level 80 job-specific quests they had in Shadowbringers brought a conclusion to those job quests. So there's nothing like that in Endwalker, but if they decide to add more, it's going to be a whole new quest line. So there's that. So yep, just do those quests if you want to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. Anyway, that's all he had when it came to the class quests. But he did go on to talk about the Disciple of the Hand and Disciple of the Land versions of those quests. Now, in Shadowbringers, we had the Crystarium, little central hub where all those quests were. And then as soon as you completed all those quests, another main, big quest line came out of that. And it's going to be the exact same here. These ones are going to be called the Studium Quests, though. They're not going to be the Crystarium, obviously. So, there is a real reason to do these if you are a crafter or a gatherer, because the Crystarium ones gave us massive amounts of items or of experience, I should say. So they were really, really great to level up and to get a lot of those final, levels in there. So I definitely highly suggest you do the Studium ones as soon as, just like you did the Crystarium ones, because they are a great, great source of experience. And then also, like in Shadowbringers, they had quests at the end where it kind of opened up another little shop where you could buy other little items and stuff like that. So I definitely say go ahead and do them. They're worth it. After that, he wanted to talk about dungeons and trials and stuff like that. But of course, he couldn't really talk about it because that would include a whole lot of spoilers. So we got very little information, new information at all. In fact, we got no new information at all. Not even any real good screenshots, because they just said they couldn't without, spoilers. So we got no information really on new dungeons and trials. But he did bring up the new Pandemonium raid. And he actually showed us some video of the arena it takes place in, which I should have going behind me right now. It looks very neat. I mean, it just looks wicked. It really, really does. And I mean, if you've been following Endwalker at all, you know that we're getting Anima from Final Fantasy X. Anima, my absolute favorite summon of all time. Love Anima. So happy she's coming into this game. And this area really looks something like someplace that Anima could be in. So I'm thinking Anima may be part of Pandemonium. So this is all we really got of the whole thing. Yoshida did say that he is super duper excited for Pandemonium and to get our reactions to it and stuff like that, because he is really proud of the quest line. So I'm excited for it. Looks like it's going to be a great time. He also brought up that we are getting a new treasure dungeon. This one is going to be called the, how does that, Excitatron 6000, and that's going to come out in 6.05. He gave us very limited screenshots. He basically just gave us a screenshot of the floor because, again, he wanted to avoid spoilers. Now this next part I may stumble over a little bit because we're talking about PvP now, and I am not a PvP player, so I don't necessarily understand a lot of this. So I'm just going to kind of try to convey the information to you. So what he said was that with Endwalker, they are probably in patch 6.1, they're coming out with a new PvP mode called Crystal Conflict. And what's going to happen in this is that you're basically going to have to capture crystal and take it to your competing team's camp. It's going to be very low. It's going to be 5 versus 5. It's supposed to be very low pressure with very quick matches. And it's basically a PvP mode for casual players. They did remove the old role-based matchmaking. And they removed the old role-based matchmaking because they removed role restrictions in here. So you can go in 5 DPS, 5 tanks, whatever. Does not matter. The skills are also going to be adjusted, so you are going to have some self heals and whatnot. So no role is actually going to be absolutely necessary. Matches will be you will be matched with other players based on skill. How they're doing that, I have no idea. And they have. Oh, what else? I'm looking at my notes here. There's going to be different maps for this, and all the maps are going to have their own little gimmicks and everything. But it looks pretty basic. Like you just kind of move the crystal around. It is going to have its own new reward system because they are revamping the reward system. So now there's going to be series and seasons. Seasons are going to be shorter than series, so you're going to have multiple seasons per series. And then basically what's going to happen is that when you compete in PvP and you win, you are going to get tokens. And the tokens are, it's going to be like 1 through 10. And when you hit 5, you get a special reward. And then when you hit 10, you get a special reward. And then you're going to be able to purchase past rewards with the remaining tokens, from what I understand. Again, I don't PvP, so this is kind of Greek to me. He also did say that they are removing the feast. So the feast is going to be gone come 6.1, and it's going to be replaced with this Crystal Conflict. And it's just they just kind of want to change and spice up PvP a little bit. He did say that, some people have been questioning them and why they even need PvP because, this is Final Fantasy XIV. Why do we have PvP? But Yoshida's stance on it is that he wants to expand 14 and help it continue to grow. And by doing that, they add content for all kinds of various players. And PvP players are a type of player. And there's a lot of people who really enjoy PvP. So, of course, they wanted to add PvP back in and they wanted to, keep it going. So that's why we have PvP. That's why they add so much to it. He said it's just like Savage. Savage isn't for everybody, but they still have Savage modes because there's a select group of people who like it. So that's exactly why they're keeping PvP in this game. Oh, and he also said that They know people want the Garo collaboration back, and they are trying to bring the Garo collaboration back, but it's not as simple as, them turning it on, because it is a collaboration, and they have to get permissions from the people who run the Garo, whatever the show that's based on, and stuff like that. So it's they have to write up contracts and stuff like that, but they are making it a point to try to get Garo back. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to PvP. Oh, they did say that even though that the feast is ending, do not throw away your wolf collars, because wolf collars are still going to be obtainable, and they're also going to be tradable for items and rewards. So don't get rid of them. Don't drop them. They're still going to have a use. He then went on to say, and this is part of PvP, but it also is part of PvE. There's a new system coming out called either the calling card system or the character card system. Like the translator said character cards, but the screen they had on said calling cards. So it's one of the two. Anyway, it's a tentative name anyway. So it's a system that's currently in development that's going to allow you to customize a profile that's going to be displayed prior to PvP matches or whenever somebody examines you. And you're going to be able to have different backgrounds, different borders, pictures, stuff like that in there. And all the different items that you get when it comes to pictures, borders, stuff like that is going to be obtainable when you just complete certain pieces of content. He said to think about it as like a customizable business card for your character. More will be revealed during 6.1. Hopefully, that's when they really want to get more information out there. So that's something to look forward to. Next, he went into some of the crafting and gathering adjustments that are going to be made. He wanted to reiterate first that high quality gathering is no longer going to be a thing. It's a bloat thing. There's just way too many items, especially without a crafting bag, which I would kill for. But high quality crafting will still be a thing. So what they're going to be doing is that Disciple of Land quests are going to be changed so that if they required high quality quests or high quality items, they're going to now accept either high quality or normal quality turn-ins. He also said that anything like Grand Company turn-ins or any quests that had you turn in a high quality item and gave you a bonus for turning in a high quality item is going to have the rewards adjusted so that it's probably not quite as high as the high quality, but not as low as the normal quality reward. So all that stuff is going to be adjustment. And also any achievements that you would normally get for, gathering a certain amount of high quality or turning a certain amount of high quality in are still going to be in the game. They're just going to simply be called something else. He did say that there's going to be some new actions added for Disciples of the Hand for crafters, and that existing actions are going to be adjusted. He also said that the progress that you make while doing certain recipes are going to be adjusted. So the progress and quality values, I should say, are going to be adjusted in accordance with the value downscaling across the board. And then along with that, there's going to be some adjustments made to high quality crafting, so the difficulty doesn't get too out of hand come 6.0. Mining and botany are also going to have actions that will be added and actions that will be adjusted. One thing that they did say was that the action, or not the action, but the perception for when it comes to gathering is going to be changed in name. Now, he said that this is not going to affect English players because perception is pretty much dead on. But for other languages, it may change. The stat's going to basically remain the same, but the actual name will change just to make it something more relevant. And also when it comes to gathering, perception used to be what determined whether or not you got high quality. So now they changed that so that if you do have enough perception, instead of triggering a high quality, gather, it's now going to trigger something called Gatherer's Boon, which is going to allow you to gather 2 items instead of 1. Fishing is also going to have new actions and adjustments. High quality fish are obviously no longer going to be high quality. They're just going to be called large. So there'll be large versions of the fish, and all actions and descriptions will be adjusted to reflect that change. And for perception, for fishing, it's going to affect collectability instead of, determining whether or not you got a high quality item. Spearfishing is also going to be changed. I'm going to put this video up behind me. Spearfishing is now an actual mini game where you actually get to go and spear the fish by yourself. So it looks like it's going to be kind of silly, but possibly fun. Yoshida said that he's really addicted to it. He said that you just get in this and you start doing it, and it's just really, really addictive, and it's a good time. So we'll see how that goes. I think, to me, this is going to be fun too. So anyway, the next thing he talked about is leaves, because there's going to be some reward adjustment when it comes to leaves. So gil is going to be adjusted in the light of gil inflation, and then also experience and gil rewarded by tradecraft and fishing levels that require a large amount of items are too high, and they're going to be reduced. But other leaves will have experience and gil increased. Experience rewards will also be adjusted because of the downscaling of all the numbers, just like with crafting and stuff. So they may appear reduced, but it's actually an increase when you look at the big picture. Then he went into system adjustments. So like he said, that experience is going to be downscaled because they are doing a downscaling of numbers across the board. And this is not only going to affect our characters, but it's also going to affect retainers and trusts and everything else. The time or number of duties cleared are also to level up are also going to remain unchanged. They did apparently some pretty heavy testing with it, and they wanted to make it so that the amount of time it takes you to level up a job is not going to be affected. Again, I reiterated this in my last video too when I talked about this. It's just a change in numbers. There's not going to be an overall change in or not supposed to be an overall change in difficulty. There's not going to be an overall change in the amount of time it takes to do anything. This is purely a numerical thing, especially behind the scenes, because the numbers are just getting so high that it's going to start breaking the game. And in fact, it did start breaking the game a little bit in Shadowbringers, apparently. So yeah, they had to do something about it. He also said that in 6.0, any jobs that you are leveling up currently that are not at level cap, the experience you get that you currently have on those jobs are going to be reset to 0. Now, that doesn't mean your job's going to be reset. That means if you're level 67 and you're halfway to 68, when you log back in after Endwalker, you're going to be back at 67, at 0 experience in 67, and then you're going to have to gain experience back up. So what Yoshida suggests is if you're leveling up a job, if you're to go ahead and get it up just past a level and just let it sit, because then it's gonna, then it's not gonna be too big of a deal losing that little bit of experience. And he said that the reason they're doing it this way, because his first inclination was to just put everyone up a level. So if you're halfway through 67, when you log back in, you're just gonna be starting out at level 68. But that's very difficult to do. And he said that if they actually wanted to do something like that, they would have to take the game completely offline for 3 weeks minimum, because they would have to change every single character on a character by character basis manually, and it would just take way too long. So it kind of sucks that you're going to lose a little bit of experience, but it's not going to be that big of a deal in the long run. So there's that. Got to keep that in mind. So don't freak out if you log in after Endwalker and it is all your experiences reset to 0. He did say that the new Tomestone is going to be released in both 6.0 and 6.05 are called Aphorism and Astronomy tomes. Astronomy going to be the 6.05. The Aphorism is going to be the ones that are coming with 6.0. And I've had, some pictures going through here and stuff like that. Some of that is the gear that you're going to get with the Aphorism, like right at 6.0. And you can see that they are highly, highly inspired by Final Fantasy IV, which just makes me happy. 4, 6, and 10, my favorite Final Fantasies. So if I can cosplay as Radia or Edge or whatever, I'm perfectly happy with that. Astronomy tomes will then be released 4 weeks after the Endwalker releases with patch 6.05. And also Tomestone weapons are going to have their cost reduced from 1,000 tomes to 500, which is fantastic. I really, really love that. Apparently nothing else is getting adjusted, but we are having a complete reduction in Tomestones, or for the weapons, which I'm cool with that. I really like that. That 1,000 was always just kind of a hassle to get because it took so long. So yeah, I'm cool with it. And he did say that to compensate, they do want to give us more. What have we been asking for? Glamour plates added. He said that they're going to try to have more information about this in 6.1 because they have to do some technical stuff behind the scenes and they have to see how many they can give us and everything like that. But they do want to give us more glamour plates and more storage for glamours. So 6.1, we should know more about that. Also in 6.1, we're going to get Rothgar, hopefully more Rothgar hairstyles. He said that's going to take till 6.1 because Rothgar, the way they're built, it's really difficult to put different hairstyles on them. But yeah, we are going to get more hairstyles when it comes to 6.1 with Rothgar. However, for you Viera, you're going to be really excited because you're going to get your first new slew of hairstyles. Either, I think he said in 6.0, it might be 6.01 or 6.05, but it's going to come around time with Endwalker. And he also showed off some of those pictures as well, which I've been scrolling through here. So Viera are getting some new hairstyles, and then Rothgar are going to be coming probably a patch after. He did say that for males, that they actually constructed the skeleton of the male differently, so they would not have the same problems when it comes to, adding different hairstyles for males. So it should not be a problem for male Viera. Therefore, it should also not be a problem for female Rothgar when we get them. But yes, they are coming. They know we want them. Not to worry about it. Whew. Thank God. Then he went into some new scripts for gathering and crafting classes. So the new scripts are going to be purple scripts. And I did see back in, I think it was during the media tour, they were talking about how white scripts are going to replace yellow scripts. So we're going to have purple and white scripts from there on out. They also did an update to the UI for achievements. It's not going to just be the square anymore. He said they wanted to make it look more like a book or a planner. But to me, it looks like they just like a stack of papers sitting there. But he said he really, he wanted to spice it up a little bit because the way it looks more like, you're actually like journaling or writing in a diary or something like that instead of just like this weird standard achievement thing. So that whole thing is going to change. And it's also going to have a near completion and a recommended tab added to them as well. Other system things he talked about was group pose is now going to be usable while you're playing an instrument. So you're going to be able to, get your band together and take some band photos. The company action back on your feet is going to be replaced with an action that extends sprint while in the cities. And there's also going to be items added to the Grand Company Exchange that are going to grant you a mount or possibly grant you a random mount or minion when you use it. They did say, however, that it may just give you a firework. You never know. So I have thoughts on this. Fireworks drive me crazy, especially in this game. I always say I want to get a group of players together for Yoshida for like on his birthday or something like that, and each of us send him a little present. And if anybody wants to help me organize this, this will be fantastic. Each of us send him a little present containing one firework, and then just have like 2 or 3 random presents like mixed in with all the presents of fireworks of something like really, really cool. And just like make him sit there and open all these up, and I think it would be hilarious, and I would love to do that. I just don't know the legalities of sending fireworks or something to Japan. Anyway, funny, I think. Anyway, that's just me. So the next thing that he talked about was Final Fantasy XIV's first official real add-on. This looks like it's going to be really interesting. It's something that I'm definitely going to get in on and get. It's Windows only, so PlayStation players, sorry. Mac players, sorry. I don't know why, honestly, you're gaming on a Mac anyway. But so basically what this is they're collaborating with a company called Embody that's going to bring us 360-degree personalized spatial audio. So that means, that the way the audio is going to play in your ears is, if there's, a river over there running, you're going to be able to know where certain things are. Now, this is not going to affect gameplay. It's not going to give you any advantage. It's just kind of adds another element of realness to the game in and of itself. Apparently they've been working on this for a long time, like years, long time, and they're finally able to do it. So the first thing you need to do with this is you need to go to the Embody website, which I will have linked in the description of this video, and you need to sign up for it. They do have a 14-day trial, but after that, you do have to purchase it. Now, it is a one-time purchase. You do not have to, it's not subscription-based or anything like that. But for the US dollar, it's going to be $19.99. It's going to be 18 pounds, or $20. I don't want to say dollars. 20 francs, 40. I don't know your currency, I'm sorry, but 20.40 French euro and 20.23 German euro, I guess. Like I said, sorry, don't know currencies. Pre-purchasing will save you 20%, and it will be active with early access. And it's someone brought up the PS5, but it's not the same as the PS5 because apparently PS5 has like a few profiles and you just kind of choose one. But with this, you sign up for it, and then you take a photo of your ear, and you send it in to Embody, and then they create a customized little audio profile for you. And then you just switch it on under sound settings in the configuration tab, and apparently you're good to go. So like I said, I will have that linked in the description below, so you can go there and you can get it. I'm personally going to get it myself because just think it sounds neat, basically. The next thing is something that you're going to love. Because the next thing he talked about was housing. And I know everybody's excited. Everybody wants to know about how they're adjusting housing. So, new district is going to come in 6.1, and it's called the Imperium. Now, this is the district that is off of Ishgard, the one that we built up for the Ishgard restoration. There's going to be 24 wards with 24 subdivisions, and it will be based on the I think I should say this. It's going to be based on the firmament. It's not going to look exactly like the firmament. But come 6.1 or 6.0, I'm sorry, you're going to be able to actually go into the Imperium and kind of check it out and see how things look set up. And then 6.1, you're going to be able to actually go and purchase a plot. Now, this is going to add 1,440 new houses into every server. But there's a problem when it comes to buying a house, because everybody's in a rush and everybody wants to get, a house. So they're changing on how house acquisitions happen. First of all, if a house, you cannot just relocate to a house now, any open house now. That is being completely removed. If you want to relocate, you still can relocate, but you cannot put your name in the hat for that house until it actually becomes available. So until it's available for purchase. So no more running in, swooping in early and grabbing it as soon as it goes up as soon as it becomes available. And because of that, they also removed devaluation. So devaluation is going to be completely gone come 6.1. So there's only going to be one price point for houses, period, from now on. No more devaluation. Brand new free company members will not be allowed to purchase land or to be promoted to the rank of master to get around that. So there's going to be a certain time limit when you join a free company to be able to actually, be put on the list to buy a house. A lottery system is also going to be implemented. They talked about this a little bit before, but they gave us a lot of new details. So they made a system where it's going to be lottery or first come, first serve. And they can basically go in and adjust it however they want, kind of like flipping a switch. And they're going to kind of look at player feedback and how everything works out to determine on whether or not, they're going to put like some houses up, that you could just grab right away and, whatever. It seems like mostly at the beginning, though, everything's going to be on a lottery basis. So how the lottery is going to work is, so if for private plots, you have to meet certain requirements. First, you have to have at least one job at level 50. You also must be a second lieutenant in your grand company. I think these were both still requirements even as of right now. And you can also only own one house per server per account. So you can't get houses for all your alts anymore. And also for the Imperium or the Shirogane housing areas, you need to complete the quests Litany of Peace or Not Without Incident, respectively, to get houses in those. When it comes to free company plots, the character must be a free company member with authorization to purchase or relocate land. The free company must be a minimum of rank 6 and must have a minimum of 4 players in it. You cannot own 2 FC plots on the same account. You can only have 1 FC plot per account. And also the developers decided to also add an option of making houses free company only if they so choose. So they they could set up an entire ward just to be free company houses. And all this stuff is completely adjustable, so they can change it at any time. And they will change it as adjustments are needed. So the lottery. So what's going to happen with the lottery is number one, the schedule for the lottery is going to be the same in all wards on all worlds. So it's going to, there's going to be a very set, strict lottery run. The lottery is going to run for several days. And to enter the lottery, you basically just go up to the placard and you click on entering. But what happens when you enter it is you pay for the house then and there. So you deposit your money. You can only be in the lottery for one house at a time. So you can't go and put, bids in on a bunch of different houses. It's one at a time. You have to pay for it up front. And when you do, they're going to give you a number. Now, after a certain amount of time, when the houses come available, if you won, you have a certain amount of time to claim that house. If you lost, you have to go back to that house and you have to click on the placard and to get your money back. And you're going to get a full refund. 100% of your yield you're going to get back. If you won and you do not reclaim the house, or you do not claim the house, you only get 50% of the money you put in back. So you can't just you can't put bids in on multiple houses, and you have to, pay attention. You have to remember which house you put a bid in on. And the placard will also tell you how many people have bids in. So you can kind of look and kind of judge the odds for yourself to see if you even want to put the bid in. So it's that. Now, if you do not win the house and you are not able to go and claim your money, you will lose it. I think they said tentatively right now you're going to have 90 days to go back and reclaim the money that you put in toward the house. But they just can't have them hold it indefinitely. So you only have like they said 90 days to go back and claim that money again. So you can what else is here? Full price on entry. Oh, you also cannot withdraw. So if you put money in, you put a bid in on a house, you cannot go and withdraw your bid. You just kind of have to wait it out. If you win and you do not claim your plot, like I said, you lose 50% of the house. So these rules also apply for relocation, and they will be giving us more details come 6.1. And then finally, they gave us some information on the Oceanic Data Center, which is planned to be opened February of 2022. It's going to be called the Materia Data Center, and they are going to be treated as new worlds. So if you want to transfer to one of the Oceanic Data Centers, sorry. Ooh, I was getting kind of hoarse there. If you want to transfer to one of the Oceanic Data Center, you can do so for free. And they're going to have the same bonuses that normally come with brand new worlds. So there's that. And you want to know what? That's it. That was the entirety of the 6 hours of live letter. That's pretty much all the information. The only thing they had at the end was they do have a new vinyl record coming out. There'll be more of that on the Lodestone. So, there's that. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for sticking with me for so long. This was pretty beefy live letter. We got a lot of information. Like I stated earlier, if you want to join my free company, get a hold of me somehow. Watch for me on the stream. If you want me to do any other videos on any other piece of content or anything like that, let me know. If I missed something, let me know in the comments. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments. You can also follow me on Twitter, which is linked in the description. And I think that is pretty much it. I'm going to go because I'm getting really, really hoarse here. You have no idea how many takes this thing took. So I hope to see you running around in Eorzea. And as per the usual, it's been a hoot. Until next time, have fun.